we go.
That's a good start.
Okay, it's December 9th here on a Sunday, and I've got the band Assuming We Survive here. Thanks, guys, for coming around.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Kind of going to go around the horn and introduce everybody here and say what you do here with the band.
My name is Phil, and I play guitar.
Chris, and I play the drums.
Adrian, I sing.
Manny, I play guitar.
My name's Joe, and I play bass.
Cool. How long have you guys been together right now as a band right now?
From when it started, it's probably been 5 years, but this group, I'd say almost a year now. With this group right here.
Yeah.
So
It'll be a year in December with this lineup.
Yeah.
But you guys been along.
Me and Adrian started, it's been, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
How'd you guys all meet and everything? How did everything get going?
I met Chris through his band. I used to work at Guitar Center. His band came in for a vocal DVD. And I started hanging around his band and helping them out a bit. And then when my last band broke up, I hit up Chris, and he was pretty much the first guy I went to. And got Chris, and then met Manny through mutual friends. We're trying to get me and Manny together for a while, and worked out. Manny came down. I remember he drove his bicycle with 2 Gibson Les Pauls on it all the way from Covina to Altaloma just to practice.
Holy mackerel.
And then Manny joined the band, and then we got Phil.
Because of Manny, right?
Huh?
Is it because of Manny?
Actually, I joined, we have a friend of mine, his name's Tommy. He plays in a band called I Omega. And he actually called me up one day and told me about Assuming We Survive. And I wasn't playing music at the time, and he thought it was definitely something I'd be into. And I went and checked him out at House of Blues, Anaheim, and they were awesome, and I was super stoked. And I ended up landing the audition.
I'm going to be in this band.
Yep. And no one else tried out, by the way. Side note, that's right.
And then Joe, we got Joe. We played with Joe's old band, Hilo Brook.
Similar story to Phil's.
Yeah.
I knew Tommy loosely through old bands when I was in high school. So I was in a band called Hilo Brook at the time. We needed a band to open up, and I knew Joe at the time from also Sync and Be Threshold. He was the lead singer, and he knew these guys. And I actually was at the show that Phil was at the House of Blues. I was actually at that show, and that's the first time I saw Assuming We Survive. And I was like, yeah, they're badass, dude. I would love for them to play, They hit them up, and they brought a PA system. They came out. It was actually an opening show for Brandon Saller from Atreyu on his side project. And we hit it off ever since then. We've been friends. And long story short, their bass player left, and I auditioned, and I got the spot.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. How did you guys come up with the name Assuming We Survive?
Me and Adrian,
Speaks for itself.
we were on the porch or the
At my old
balcony
apartment.
of his old apartment, drunk, and just going through names, just randomly speaking out names. And then he initially said "friends stealing friends" because we were getting all these members from different bands, friends' bands. And then I think he just blurted out "Assuming We Survive," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's kind of cool." Ring to it, it can mean anything really. Assuming we survive, whatever,
Music
And
industry.
it kind of just went from there, like that, basically.
I'm going to kind of go individually on this, Phil, since you're a guitar player and everything. Who are some of your influences that led you into playing guitar?
Guitar, my biggest would have to be my pops. My dad taught me how to play guitar. I actually started on bass, and then I picked up a guitar around 18, 19. I grew up around him playing blues and stuff, and jazz and different rock fusion styles. And then I really, really, really enjoy punk rock music. And I listened to Strung Out, Another Day in Paradise. First time I heard that record, I was 17, and it totally changed my life. I was like, I want to play music like that. So, Lagwagon, NoFX, Strung Out, or Older Thrice, I don't know, stuff like that, just to name a few. But I love all styles of music, whether it be hip-hop or, metal or whatever. Country even, you know what, I'll say it, country.
There you go.
So,
I'll say it.
some good stuff in country. But still to this day, love playing that style of music, just high energetic, kind of I was like the punk rock, punk metal, I guess, infusion. It's always been kind of my favorite style of guitar playing.
Cool.
Amongst others, but yep.
Chris, how did you come about becoming in drums?
Drums. I've always been infatuated playing drums, but I never had a set or anything, I remember the first time my dad played me a Led Zeppelin record, I was immediately just like, wow, this guy's awesome, John Bonham. So he's the reason basically why I started playing drums. And then got into Green Day when Green Day Dookie came out. Trey Cole, tore it up, and actually Dave Grohl and Nirvana. After hearing those, I was just hooked. And then finally got my first kit in 8th grade and haven't stopped playing. That's it.
Very cool. So, were you always a singer in your early ages, Adrian, or did you perform on other instruments before?
Yeah,
actually?
I've done a lot of different things. I've always sang ever since I was a little kid. I was always into music, and I had a drum set for about 3 days. I kept on waking up at 7 in the morning and banging on it, so my parents sold it after 3 days and got me a guitar instead. And then I didn't really learn how to play it when I was that young. I was probably like 7. But I always sang, even when I was little. And then I got into middle school and I joined band. And I played like the trombone, the trumpet, and then I found the bass clarinet and I stuck to that. I really liked that instrument. And then I was in band, school band, all the way through 7th grade. And then I moved to Dominican Republic with my dad. And my dad's always played Latin percussion for like salsa bands and merengue bands and stuff. So I started learning Latin percussion. I started playing bass in a Dominican Spanish cover band, and self-taught how to play guitar, and then just kept on playing guitar and bass, and every now and then drums, but always singing. And I remember the first time I wanted to play guitar specifically was I was sitting there watching MTV in Germany, and Lenny Kravitz's "Are You Gonna Go My Way" video came on, and that ripping lead, and I was like, oh my god, that's so sick, I want to play guitar. And ever since then I've just been heavily into music and heavily into bands. Ever since I was 15, I think I've been in bands, so that's pretty much it. Now I'm here.
Okay. Manny, how did you get your start or in the music field here?
I started out DJing, spinning drum and bass and stuff like that, and kind of played a little bit of guitar, but it wasn't until I started working at a Guitar Center when I was working in pro audio and I kept walking past the guitars. I was about 19, 20, and I finally decided, I asked my manager if he'd put me in guitars. He put me in accessories. I sold all my DJ stuff and bought a half stack and a guitar, and ever since then just started playing guitar. Pretty much like, it was mainly music like classic rock, like Led Zeppelin, stuff like that, that made me want to actually get into it, like really start getting into bands and stuff like that. Just I love the feel of the guitar and everything. Then other modern bands like Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, he's another one that made me like really get into leads and want to start writing and trying doing different things on guitar, stuff like that.
Cool. And Joe?
Basically, music was introduced to me by my sister at a young age. She was like an old school gutter punk kind of chick. Ran with some Skins and some Bad Crowds for a while, but she was super cool and she introduced me to a lot of good music. I want to say the first few bands she introduced me to was like Descendants, Bad Religion, Minor Threat. Grew up on a lot of like that older stuff, and obviously Descendants was a huge influence for sure, but that all intrigued the punk rock side of life and like the metal side of life that we all enjoy, which is pretty fun in its own way, but it comes with it is the shows, and the shows are fucking awesome. Getting in the pits, and then when you get to the shows, you're like, dude, I want to be that guy on stage. So that was the next thing, obviously. And then by the time I was 12 or 13 years old, I talked my dad into getting me a bass guitar. Actually, I was 12 years old. Got a bass guitar, the one I still play to this day. It's a piece of shit now, but it's holding me by, which is pretty fucking cool. To say it's about 16 years old. Started playing bass, and my first band was like 13 years old. Been in and out bands ever since then, and still have the fire for it. You know what I mean? It's the same story.
Yeah. Very cool. So far, the shows that you guys played, has there been a real show that's really stood out for you guys that meant something a lot to you?
I would say Warped Tour for me personally. I grew up going to Warped Tour and always dreamed about playing it. And then we won that Ernie Ball Battle of the Bands, and we had an opportunity to play this past year in Pomona, and it was just a rad experience. Met a lot of cool people, talked to a lot of cool people, and
It was
definitely
surreal.
surreal almost. And you can check that off the list now for Warped. I'm playing Warped Tour basically, so that was mine.
Who were some of the bands that you guys were able to interact with over there?
4 Year Strong,
I talked to the
Taking
guys.
Back
I
Sunday.
wrestled a bear once. Yeah.
I actually chatted with some of the guys.
Chunk, no Captain.
Yeah,
Chunk.
Chuck, no Captain Chunk. They're from France. Really nice guys. Talked to the singer and the guitarist for a little bit. They put on a great show. That was really cool. I'm really
And even Kevin Lyman
digging on
too.
those
He
guys.
was really
Kevin
cool.
Lyman was cool as shit. That was the best part about it, to be honest, is Kevin Lyman. Because you see that dude like on the videos, and like to see him in person, to be as real as he is on the videos, is like really humbling. Like, that dude rode by on his bike, and I just stopped him and chatted up, and he engaged our conversation with me rather than kind of blowing me off. You know what I mean? That was way cool. That was way cool for sure.
That's cool. I kind of got that atmosphere when I was at the Warped Tour, the last one that happened. It seems like a lot of bands have like a lot of family atmosphere. It seems like kind of get along with a lot of people. So it seems like it's a cool.
It's one of those tours where, I guess like everybody's super close, and therefore, like with bands like us that get lucky enough to play it, like everybody's just really nice. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, this industry ain't what it used to be. So everything's hard work now. So it's kind of tightened up the groups as far as family. Everyone's got to work hard together. Even those dudes, even though they're obviously well established, but they're still putting in hard work. In their own way. But it's just music's different now. So it's like you got to put in the work. A lot of people don't understand that.
Well, there's a flip side of that question. There's always that good part. Now, do you guys individually or anything have kind of that memory of going, I wish that would have never happened kind of thing that happened to you on stage or anything? A little embarrassing, any kind of little embarrassing moments?
I clotheslined him one time, that was pretty
fun. First song at Glass House.
Joe clotheslined me. His wireless had kind of went out just before, like when we were kind of doing like a sound check. Right,
sound checks.
Yeah, like a quick little line check before we were actually going to go on. And he realized he couldn't use the wireless, so he plugged in wired, and I had forgotten. So very first few clicks of the first song, I tried to run across stage, not realizing that there was a cord right there about neck level.
And it's actually
on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, it was our first song at the Glass House show.
Night Sky, I believe.
Night Sky. Yeah. You could see me just like I'm all getting into it, and I just run to the right and bam! I don't fall or anything. I kind of play it off, but not all that well.
He broke my quarter inch.
I broke his quarter inch, and then you can see Joe get mad a little bit after. He throws it.
Brian, our tech dude, was on side stage shows, able to get a cord within seconds. Thank God,
it worked out.
But it was just funny. It was a funny situation for sure.
I think mine is when I was at we were playing at Stingers, and I got up on the front railing, and I was walking around Manny's microphone, and I went to go jump back on the stage, not realizing that there's a big hole. There is no stage on that corner. I just dropped and disappeared into the black hole and popped right back up. I was like, oh, shit.
I didn't even notice. I was like, what?
Phil actually put a hole in the stage when we played with Real Big Fish at the Boiler Room.
That stage was, side note, was not very well constructed, okay?
What big dudes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they had to get on there.
Grown man jumping around on that stage.
They went up there with a couple of plywood, and they drilled it.
Oh, what about at Liam's when you did that stick thing and it bounced? Or Manny caught. What was that?
We were in the middle of a song. Yeah. Chris was playing drums, and he hit his ride hard enough where his stick flew out of his hand, and it flew. Was it you need it, or what'd you do, or what did I need it, or I think his stick flew out of his hand. I need it, and he caught it. It flew back to him, and he caught it. It was just one of those moments you'll never do again. It was impossible. It literally flew from his ride to me. I need it, and it landed back in his hand, and he caught it and played. And we looked at each other what the fuck?
Pretty awesome.
Well, we kind of got into that conversation, how you were saying about how, everybody's helping each other in the music industry. It seems like it's changed so much, and with the internet now, now people can just download stuff free and everything like that.
Right. It's a different game.
How are you guys, getting yourself heard out there? What are you trying to do to let the public know who you are?
Well, you want to get that one, Phil?
Yeah, sure. Why not, Adrian? I think we'll jump on that one. Thank you. A lot of the social media, obviously a lot of stuff online nowadays, Facebook, Twitter, websites. Obviously, we're attacking that. We've been trying recently. We have our good friend Michelle who's helping us out with marketing and promotions. We're trying to get back to more, I guess nowadays, more of a street route promoting, as well as the online presence, getting out to shows, and just handing out CDs and talking to kids. I think being there is really cool. You get to meet some really awesome kids. There still is really an amazing music scene in Southern California, and so doing both I think is really important to getting our band out there, both the online presence and the physical presence.
Yeah, they're way two different things, because the online is awesome because you can reach so many people, but at the same time there's so much distance between you and that person, so it comes down to we do a lot of face-to-face networking, meeting people on a daily basis. Whoever we meet, we talk about our band, try to figure out a way to fit that in to the conversation so that, they at least check the band out on a social network site, and then hopefully, come to a show, and from there, hopefully enjoy themselves enough. A lot of it's going through your phone and texting every single person in your phone. A lot of people can't make it to every show, but at least they know that there's a show and it gives them the option. So between that,
because you don't want to bug your friends at the same time. You
yeah,
wear it out, but you want to you need to utilize them and make them feel a part of something at the same time. So you want to keep them connected. And it's like, you know, some people understand it, some people don't. But I mean, I think there's, like you said, there's still a big part of people out there that still want to be part of the scene and start to, you know, be at shows and be active in the music that's local, which is really cool to hear. You know, there's a lot of random people that support. You know, like it's all there still. You know,
Yeah.
Everybody from, like, you know, interviews to photos to videos to, you know, there's people who are still there. You just got to find them and work with them and get to know them and, you know, be personal with people more than anything. You know,
That and actually the scene that's kind of rebuilding itself. Like a lot of the bands that, you know, that we play shows with, that we're friends with, you know, we all spread each other around, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody supports each other really well, and everybody.
Tag Tuesdays on Facebook, you'll see those.
Yeah, Tag Tuesdays on Facebook.
You know, we have, which is, you know, it sucks sometimes. So I forget bands at the same time. We play with some of the bands that we talk with, and I feel bad at the same time. But you know, I at least do like 3 Tag Tuesdays where it allows you to do, I think, 8 bands in each tag. So, you know, I'll do as many as I can to reach out to those bands. Just remind them, hey, everybody that is our fan, check out our friends' bands that are also doing what we're doing in their own way. You know, like their music.
Well, because it's all about music. You know, it's like
we have to help
no
each
matter
other
what
out.
style it is. You know, like we're all trying to do the same thing, which is play music and enjoy ourselves and get more out there.
And get people out back into music in general. It's definitely a dying scene with the way the industry is focused. You know.
Yeah.
Everything's DIY. You know, and DIY, which is cool, but that's a lot of people don't understand how much hard work that is. You know.
Yeah. I understand. There's a lot of foot traffic.
It was cool because there was recently that little poster that was going around on Facebook that showed like what you actually do to play gigs and what people think you do when you play gigs. You know?
Yeah.
That's a great idea because it's just like it shows you there's just so much endless input without, you know, the money we get back. Or not to get to money, but you know what I mean. That's the truth. You know.
Yeah, you spend money just to play. Even if the show's a free show, you spend money in gas, money on strings, money on sticks, and
time.
You know, it sucks to say money, but yeah, it's true. You know, you do spend money, and a lot of times you don't make money. You know, but that's the point. Like,
we don't do it because we get money.
We don't do it because of money.
We do it for money. This is straight. Like, we just love doing this.
Awesome.
You know, like, we don't get paid.
We're creators. We love to create
into
things, and music's one of the things we create.
Yep.
Yeah.
We create entertainment. We create vibe.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta love what you do. There's no doubt
We
about
love
it.
what we do.
Which I love that about this lineup. Like, you can literally, and I notice it, you know, like even when we're playing shows, like I can look at every member of this band and you can just see how much they love it. And that's the reason I love it. And that's awesome that we have that. You could totally tell no one's upset about whatever. Once we hit that stage, like everybody loves it and it's genuine and it's awesome.
Yeah, all the hard work for just 20 minutes or 30 minutes,
which goes by so fast.
And
you know, you prepare.
Ever,
you prepare so much for that one, for a show, and then it's the day of the show, and you're still preparing for the show, and then you finally play a show. It's like 20 minutes,
but that's
30
the moment
minutes
you get
done.
to share with the fans, and that's why we like to make it personal. It's like look at what like this is what, because of you we can do this.
Yeah,
exactly. So like we feed off their vibe, which is. You know, if you're at shows, that's the best part about shows. You feed off the vibe in the room. It's like, dude, you feel that tension in the air? Like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I can feel it, you know? It's a physical feel.
Yeah, that transfers, too. Our energy transfers to the crowd, and the crowd's energy transfers to us. Or to any band, for that matter.
Back and forth all night. Then we have fun, and that's the idea.
I'm going to pick each individual brain here on this particular question. I always ask everybody. Out of all the songs that have been written, whether it's rock, country, I don't care, hip-hop or anything, there's a song out there in an artist version, not so much money, that you wish you would have been part of in writing or something that means something to you.
Pour some sugar on me. Okay, no, I'm just joking. Oh man, that's a really good question. Pour some sugar. Sorry. Oh man, that's one of the best questions ever. I don't know. Gosh, I don't know. There's so many good songs. I'm stumped. That's a stumper.
Give it 2. Give it 2.
Let's go with.
It doesn't say it's your top 2. It could be your top 2, 100. But give 2 out of the top 100. Give me 1 out of the top 100.
So, like a hit? Okay.
It doesn't even have to be a hit. It could be something that
it would have been really cool to be a part of, like, something off of Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Fuck yeah.
Like, Eddie Van Halen, I know, played on some of that record. I think that's obviously one of the most iconic, legendary records of all time. So, to be a part of that would have been amazing, And also, that's an uber successful record. So,
yeah,
would have been nice to have the royalty checks from that one. But
there's no doubt about that.
But
yeah, basically, from an artist's point, I mean, something that would mean something to you and stuff. That's
okay.
One of those songs that stood in time
I'll
for
go
you.
back to Strung Out. I mean, something off like Twisted by Design is one of my favorite, one of their records. I really Matchbook is the last track on that record. It's always been one of my favorite songs of all time. I actually finally learned that a few years ago. Learned that song when I first started playing guitar. I'm a big fan of Strung Out, as you probably already realized. But yeah, I'd go with Matchbook from Twisted by Design.
Cool.
I love that song. They always close with that song. It's a great track.
Okay, how about you, Chris?
Me, the one that stands out the most, I remember when I heard it the first time and I was like, damn, I wish I can go back in time and write this record before they even knew, and come out with this myself, is Thrice, Artist in the Ambulance, really, was one of my favorite albums ever. It still is. And also Identity Crisis as well with them, so. Actually, Illusion of Safety too. I don't know, all those early Thrice albums were kind of just like, wow, I wish I could have done something like that, and those stick out in my mind for sure the most.
Cool. Adrian?
Song-wise, Hero by Foo Fighters. For some reason, I connect so much with that song because I feel like there's so many things that he's conveying, but for me, how I can relate to that song is just there goes my hero in the sense of wanting to do music, seeing my heroes up there on stage. So that song to me is super powerful, and I love that song. That record was awesome too. So that'd be one of them that I wish I would have been a part of. And then also Killswitch, is it Curse? Yeah, I fucking love that record. It's so damn good. As I Lay Dying, Ocean Between Us, I love that record front to back too. It's I fucking love that record. I wish I would have played guitar in that band.
Manny?
Song, probably Simon Garfunkel's Sound of Silence.
Nice.
I really like how two very brilliant artists, they describe their world as they see it, very surreal, especially for their time. They describe it in a way that you can see it today as well.
Yeah.
It's just, and I love writing my music like that. I like people to see how I feel, and I don't do lyrics, so I try to do it musically.
Yeah.
And probably another one would probably be Danny Elfman's score for Nightmare Before Christmas. I've always wanted to at some point with my music do movie scores. I really like epic music. I really like the way movies depict emotion in films and how you can really feel the way somebody's feeling at some point, and the way something's going to build into something else. And I would love to have been part of that, with him writing something that epic and beautiful.
Yeah. Very cool. Joe?
I would definitely have to second what Chris said, dude. I think Thrice is definitely one of my big influences, and I think Dustin Kentry is brilliant. Not to take anything away from the rest of the band, they're all obviously brilliant, but Thrice Trust off the Illusion of Safety album is definitely one of my favorite songs as far as top songs. AFI was also a huge influence though too. AFI was pretty epic back in the day. But, yeah.
I think all of us can say No Effects.
Oh, man.
Hunkin' Drublick, the first time I heard that album, I was like, holy shit.
It sucks to know it.
I remember I bought the Pump Up the Volume record solely off of the album cover and because it was No Effects. I remember I put that record in too, and that record,
Good.
yeah, it's so good. I mean, they're such a good band because they can be serious when they want to be, and they can be total goofballs, and it's fucking awesome.
Fucking sick anyway,
Yeah.
dude. Fat Records is shit.
Mike, if you hear this, we're all about you, buddy.
Hey, Fat Records
Fat
and Epitaph.
Records.
That's all
Yeah.
I grew up on. Anything Epitaph.
And Epitaph, yes.
Anything Fat Records, that's what I grew up on.
Do you guys have any info or any advice that you would give to somebody, a band maybe trying to start out in business, and kind of give them some encouragement of any kind?
Basically, it's a little cliche, but just keep going. Just keep doing what you love. I mean, if you don't love music, there's no point in playing it because you're not going to enjoy it ever. I mean, that's why we're all still here. We're, in our late 20s, early 30s, and we're still doing what we love. It's because, we love playing music. We love each other's company, and, doing that. You can't go into music in a band expecting to make it, make millions right off the bat. You have to put in work, and we all have, and
We're not making anything.
we ain't making anything, but we still love doing what we're doing. If it was all about the money, we wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah. Don't ever get discouraged. If you love it, no matter. If you're a solo artist, it's a lot easier, just because you only have to rely on yourself. And if you love it, then that's it. But when you're in a band, don't get discouraged, because there's going to be people that enjoy music but don't.
Well, it just shows with our band. We've gone through a bunch of members because. Some members leaving because they just weren't into it like we were. They didn't feel, they didn't have the love that we have. So, you can't, no hard feelings to that. If you don't enjoy it, to move on to something else.
Don't let anybody tell you to stop. A bunch of people will tell you to stop. You need to
family.
You need to grow up.
This
isn't a real job. In the sense, you don't always make a bunch of money. It's a lot harder work than most jobs, though, and a lot less return. We're entertaining people, and that says a lot. You know, we can make people have a great time. You can't really say that about too many people, especially the people telling us to stop.
Well, with 2013 around the corner, what's in the horizon for Assuming We Survive? What do you guys got going?
New album's the idea.
Yeah.
Writing for a new, hopefully full length, coming out sometime, hopefully in the spring, early summer.
Music video.
Starting off 2013 with the headlining show at the Glass House on January 4th, with direct support from Implants, who are members from Strung Out, Pulley, 10-Foot Pole, and such. So that's huge. And
yeah, working with Solon a little bit more. Yeah. And then playing a lot of shows, touring.
Trying to get back on Warped Tour this year.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You know, starting off with a few weekend tours, you know, and then, you know, possibly doing longer tours in the summer. Hopefully doing Warped Tour in the summer. That'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
We've also discovered an ancient mystical scale. It's a music scale for all those you don't know. It's 3,000 years old. Manny and I will be incorporating that scale into some guitar solos.
Nice.
So,
Very
be ready.
nice.
We might unleash an actual dragon. I don't know.
We are wild stallions.
That's right.
So basically, how can people find you? I mean, how you guys have a website you want to
My
plug in or
address
anything?
is
we got the .com, assumingwesurvive.com. You can find us on Facebook, Pure Volume, iTunes, YouTube. Everything's under Assuming We Survive. If not, it's facebook.com/AWS band.
Our EP's up on iTunes, so
Yeah, we got
pick
iTunes
that up.
forward.
It's only $4.95.
Yeah, we got a lot of videos on YouTube as well. If you type in Assuming Survive 2012, it'll bring you up to this past year, which has Warped Tour, House of Blues, Sunset, Anaheim, Glass House,